Hey everybody, it's Blaise again, and I'm back on TVPaint 11, and I wanted to show you a few more things that you can do within the software. These are things that they've always had. They've improved on them a little bit, and I just find them really useful. Like I said, I've talked about earlier in some of my other videos about how user-friendly this software is for a guy like me that comes from a traditional animation background. You know, I worked on paper when I was working on, you know, the Lion King and Beauty and the Beast and Pocahontas and Mulan and all those films. And for a guy that, you know, that's trying to make that transition into the digital world, TVPaint has been extremely user-friendly for me because it feels like, or as closely as possible, you know, like what it was like when I was animating on paper. So that aside, I wanted to kind of jump in and just show you a couple of things that you can do to make your life a little bit easier while you're working in TVPaint. One of them is if you're working with a tablet, a Wacom tablet, or a Cintiq like I am today. I'm working on a big Cintiq. You can assign shortcuts to your stylus or to some of the other buttons on your Cintiq. So I'm just going to go ahead and jump in and show you today. I happen to be working with a Mac, so I'm going to go into my system preferences there, but you can do it with other computers as well. But I'm going to jump into my system preferences, open that up, and I click on the Wacom tablet right here. And that's going to give me a whole bunch of options. You can see I've got the pen stylus, I've got all that. But before I can do any assigning to any shortcuts for the software, I need to bring up the software. So what I do over here is I click on this plus, and it's going to give me a list. And so I come down the list, I find TVPaint Animation 11 Pro, and I click on that, which is what I'm working in today. And now I can assign shortcuts. So right here, right off the bat, you can see I've got my stylus. And right now it's assigned to the right click. Well, I want to take it off of that and I want to assign it to the eraser. So I'm just going to come down and you can see right there, there's erase, and now it's assigned to erase. Okay, so the other button I want to assign is this top button up here. And so if you look right here, there it is. And right now it's set for double click. Well, I want to set it for the undo button, which is Command Z, okay? So I'm going to click on here and I'm going to come down to keystroke and it gives me an option. All I have to do is type in Command Z. There it is, and I hit OK, and now it's set for Command Z or undo. So now when I come out of my preferences, and I'm going to go ahead and just draw a line, okay? Now if I press that first part of the button, well, I've got it set to erase. Now if I press the back button, which is set to undo, I just undid it. So it's a great little tool to speed up your process, to, you know, have those little shortcuts. There's a whole bunch of different things you can do within there. So I recommend getting into your preferences and experimenting with that and creating your own custom shortcuts here and there, okay? And if you're not sure of what shortcut you can do, go into TVPaint, click on Control K. And Control K will bring up all of the shortcuts in TVPaint. You can go through there and figure it all out and assign to your heart's content. All right? So that's assigning shortcuts to your Wacom tablet, your pen, your Cintiq, whatever it might be. Now let's go ahead and jump on to the next option that you can use. And this one's really cool. This one is a direct it's directly related to the way we used to draw, or we used to animate back in the old days, like when we were using Xerox machines to transfer our drawings to cells. You know, in the early days when I started working in the late 80s, we were still using Xerox. And so we would do our underdrawings in blue. And then we would do the cleanup drawings, the final drawing in graphite over the top of that, so that when it was Xeroxed onto the cell, the Xerox machine would not see the blue. It would only pick up the graphite and you had a nice clean line. Well, TVPaint has that ability to do that as well. So if we come over here and we just hover over on the side, you're going to see there's the sketch panel. You've got the whole sketch panel here. You've got sketch panel there, which has blue, orange, and black. You've also got a sketch panel that's RGB, okay? Red, green, blue. I'm gonna just stick with blue because that's what I was talking about earlier. I'm gonna click on this blue brush, blue pen. Now I can, once I've clicked on that, I can pick any brush I want. So I'm going to go back to my pencil because I like using that pencil. And I can just sit here and you can see now I'm sketching in blue, and I can also control the opacity. If I want it to be not quite as dark as this, and I'll show you why. Let me come back over here, because eventually if I want to draw in graphite over the top of that, I don't want that, or the dark black, I don't want that competing with the blue. So I want that blue to be a little bit lighter. So I can control over here, see opacity? I can bring that opacity down. Let's say I'll set it at 30%. Whoop, right here, I'll set that at 30%. And now when I come over here, now you can see it's much lighter, like that. So let's go ahead. Oh, and by the way, I just hit Shift K to get rid of the drawing. I want to start over. So you can either hit your skull and crossbones up here, or you can hit Shift K as your shortcut, and that'll give you a clean sheet. So I'm just going to sit here and draw very lightly. And let's say we're doing a little angry character here, and I'm drawing, I want to get kind of this strong expression. But you notice I'm drawing very, very rough. And I can be as rough as I want, because I know that this cool option that they've provided, I can go in and drop that blue out afterwards, after I clean it up. So I'm just going to come in here first and just kind of construct this rough drawing of this character. There we go. And give him some ears. All right, so here I've done this drawing. Now I'm going to click on 0, come back to my timeline, and hover over the side. Now I can click on the black. And once again, go back to my pencil, and I can do my nice, clean drawing. But once again, I've got that set at 30%. I want to put that back to 100. There we go. Now I come in, and you can see I've got a nice dark line. Now I want to be very clean with it. Now that I've got those guiding lines underneath with blue. So I'm just going to come in here and kind of get into my Zen mode, which is what I do when I clean up my drawings. And just kind of, usually when I've got a whole scene of drawings like this, I kind of crank my music and kick back and just draw, just like we're doing now. And so I can come in and get this, there we go. And I'm just going to come through here really quick. And I'm thinking about, I want to preserve the integrity of that drawing. I don't want it to feel, when I'm cleaning up my drawings, I don't want them to feel cut out. So I still try to stay, I don't want to say loose, but somewhat sketchy with my line, because I want that line to still have some life to it when I'm doing my cleanup or tied down drawings like I'm doing now. And this doesn't have to be just for doing cleanup. A lot of times an animator will go through and animate very, very roughly first. And you could do that in blue here, and then you can go in and do what we call a tie down drawing. It's not necessarily a cleanup drawing. And you can do that in black. And that's what I'm doing here. And remember that first initial color you lay down, it doesn't have to be blue. It doesn't have to be, it can be green, it can be red, it can be any of those other colors you want it to be that they've provided in that sketch panel. So here I'm going to finish this up really quick. So now, there. So now that I've got that sketched, I'm going to hit my 0 button again. And I can come over here, click on here, and I'm going to come back. And now, you see these X's over here? Now I want to get rid of that blue. Watch, I'm going to click on the X, The blue is gone, and now I'm left with just the cleanup drawing. It's a very, very cool option to have. So you can go through and keep everything on the same layer. You can rough everything out and then go through, and then you can tie it all down and keep it all consistent, all in the same layer. So that's a very cool option. I highly recommend it. I use it quite a bit. If by any chance you have problems with some of these, I like to have, I'm going to go ahead and hit the 0 again. I like my lines being somewhat sketchy like this. I like the life that it provides. I just like it that way. I mean, hand-drawn animation is meant to be just that, hand-drawn. But sometimes it gets a little bit difficult, especially with these long curves, to do something to keep it from being wobbly. And so TVPaint has provided this great tool right here, and it's line smoothing. So I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to knock the smoothing capability up to, let's put it up to 15 for right now. Okay, and now I'm keeping it on this pencil, but what's interesting is you can see that what it's doing is as I draw, it'll smooth it afterwards. Maybe I have a shake like so as I'm drawing, and look at that, it smooths the line. Maybe you've drank too much coffee and you got something that's a little too shaky. Well, it smooths out your line, and I can knock this up. Let's knock it up even further. I'm going to knock it up to 20. And it'll smooth it even more. So as I draw, you got some shakes in the line, boom, they get smoothed out. You're drawing, it smooths out. So that's a very cool option if you're, like I said, if you're doing a lot of curves in your animation, you're a lot of straight lines, and you might be a little bit shaky. Turn on your line smoothing tool right up here. Set that, you can set it up to whatever number you want, to add that smoothing. And it takes care of it for you. It gets rid of all that little shakes. Look at that shake that I'm doing, and then boom, it smooths it right out. So that's a pretty cool option. So TVPaint has another option that I think is a lot of fun, and that is your ability to go ahead and record your actual drawing. Record the screen, and you can play it back and actually see that drawing come to life. You can see the process of you drawing it. I'll show you what I mean. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the 0 for my shortcut to go to full screen, and I'm going to come up to Windows. And when I come down to drawing, in the pull down menu, I'm going to come down to drawing recorder. You can see it right there. I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And you can see it'll provide a little red button, and that's basically your record button. So I'm going to go ahead and hit record, and I'm just going to start to draw. So we'll draw a little circle here and draw some eyes, like so. We'll just make a happy little character. Like so. There we go. Nice happy circle. Boom. Nice and quick. Okay, so I've got this little drawing. Now I hit pause, and now I'm going to click this button right here, and it's going to create a new clip. It's going to create a clip of everything that I just drew. So now watch. When I go back to my full screen, all of a sudden I've got this timeline that's filled with drawings. And watch when I hit play, so I play it back, you can actually see the drawing being made. And you can play it back that way. And you can create little videos of yourself drawing. You can create process videos. There's all kinds of fun stuff you can do. So that's a very handy tool. It's a lot of fun. I recommend experimenting with it. And the fact that they've embedded that right into the software is really cool. So have some fun with that. So those are just a few more of the tools that I find really helpful in TVPaint 11. I'm going to be showing you a few more in some future videos. So I hope you guys have a good time with TVPaint. Get out there and animate, and I will talk to you later. Thanks. Bye.